Welcome back to Some Offense Intended. I'm Jeremy Robinson.
I am Mike Mick.
We went to an Andrew Schulz show on, what day was it? Saturday?
Oh, we went to an Andrew Schulz show, yeah.
Yeah, Saturday. I knew we did.
I
was
know.
asking what day it was.
I know. We weren't going to discuss the day.
Who cares? Yeah, it was really good. I wish they said the names of the two guys that opened for him because I would like to look them up.
I heard them, but I don't recall. Like they said it quickly, and
I don't even think they said the fucking names.
No, they were announced. Like the guy, the first guy announced the second guy, and
He was like, "It's my best friend." I didn't hear a name.
He said the funniest person on the planet, and then he said his name, and he said his best friend, and he said it. I just couldn't catch it. He was funny. He also said what shows he'd been on, which I'd never heard of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but they were funny.
I'll try to look them up, but I don't know how to, unless it's somewhere in the show notes or fucking something. You'd think they would have it up there.
Yeah.
Because like when you have a headlining band, it shows who opens for them. You know who's going to be on before them.
Yeah, you would think, yeah.
So,
but I didn't see anything listed. I looked.
Yeah, but so it was supposed to start at 9:45. I think it started at like, what, 10?
10:05.
10:05.
Yeah.
Because there was still people like actively in line. Me and Mike were talking about it. Like, oh, I thought you meant stand in line at 9:45. Like, what do you think's going to fucking happen? Like, I'm surprised they didn't start it at like 9:50 and just fuck it. Whoever comes in late is just dumb.
Yeah.
Because
But they don't want people walking around while somebody's on stage and distracting. That's why they do it like that.
Well, sure, but you got to draw the line.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
So.
And the people who were sitting there the whole time waiting until the show started, and then they decided to get up and down and go get drinks and shit at that time.
Yeah.
We sat there for a while waiting for it to start.
A long time.
And these people decided, when's a good time to get up and go get a drink? Is when the show starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because, I mean, we sat there for probably 30 minutes, right?
At least.
Yeah, because we had front row tickets and didn't want to have to deal with the massive, massive rush. So even when we went in, there was several, probably 100 or 200 people in front of us.
Yeah.
Which wasn't the first time that I stood in a line of 100 or 200 people that day.
Well,
because I went to the DMV because they only do walk-ins on Saturdays.
And DMV's line, though, of 200 people, it seems so much worse than just about anywhere else, except for the Social Security office.
Yeah, so I went. So the new DMV, it's like a fairly long building, and the entrance is on the middle of the building at the front.
All right.
So I got there at 6:30. I'm like, they open at 8. Like, this is for sure going to be not a super long line, but I know there's going to be people already there.
Yeah.
So I see the line goes around the corner of the building, and I'm like, okay, that's not surprising. So I'm walking the whole line. It goes all the way, like the half of the building, the width of the building, and then the full length of the building. And then like 15, 20 people just out in the parking lot is where I stood. So I'm like, I honestly don't even know if I want to deal with this. I'm like, I can figure something else out. I'm like, because I had to pay some fine, something that they just told me about by July 3rd, or else I get my license suspended. And they're like, you can mail in a check or a money order with a copy of this notice. It doesn't say who the fuck to write it out to. It doesn't say where to send it. It doesn't say who to put attention on the letter. Like, so that would be a nightmare of trying to get that in the right spot. Because, like, it has the return address of the Carson City DMV office, but it doesn't say anything about writing a check or who to, like, any information you need for a check or to mail it. There's none of that information there. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll wait till 8:15. I don't have anything else to do and see what happens. So around 7:45, standing there an hour and a half almost, the line starts moving. I think it's just everybody compressing because there was people with lawn chairs and like somebody said that people were starting to get there at 3. Like, this isn't Black Friday, homie.
Yeah.
Like, it's the fucking DMV. So the line started compressing, do whatever. It starts going. When I get, like, I want to say it was like 75 people from the door, they hit over the intercom saying, we've reached capacity for today. Go home. Go away.
See, those people who got there at 3 probably have gone through that before, and it's like, screw this, I'm getting there.
Possibly, yeah. So they were like, unless you're doing a moving permit, or we can help you with setting an appointment, or if you have general questions, we can still help you. So everybody stood super confused, like, oh, I don't know what this means. So I started walking around people. I'm like, I'm still going to go talk to them because I needed 2 moving permits and to pay the fine.
Yeah.
And then everybody else starts moving still, and they're like, I'm still going to go inside. So the wait in line. And finally, they're like, well, there's a really long line. So they only had one person at the front information desk doing moving permits. And then they got a second, and then they got a third. Then somebody finally came over, like one of the managers, and was like, who's doing moving permits? Like, come stand over here, and I'll dedicate 2 windows to just you guys. And I was the first one in that line. So I talked to the guy, I'm like, getting my moving permits. I'm like, I also have to pay this fine. He's like, oh, you'll have to come back during the week and do that. You can just walk in during the week to pay a fine. I'm like, I mean, but I'm already here. Like, I would imagine if you can't, that's fine. If I can just walk in on Monday, I can do that. And he's like, well, let's do the moving permits first, and I'll look it up. So he does the moving permits. And it's also, they ask weird questions now for moving permits. Like, it used to just be, okay, here's a moving permit, get insurance, bye. Now they're like, is this the first time it's going to be registered in your name? I'm getting a moving permit, bro. I'm not registering it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, yeah, I know, but has it been registered in your name before? I'm like, no. Like, I didn't know that was an important piece of information or that it mattered.
Yeah.
So I guess now, since I got moving permits for those, if I wanted to, I could call AAA and register it there instead of going back to the DMV again, which that's good.
Yeah.
So then he looks up about the fine, and he's like, yeah, I don't know if I can. He's like, let me go talk to a supervisor. He walks into the supervisor's office, less than 2 seconds. Like, he probably just said hi, and then turned back around.
He missed the supervisor.
Come back to his desk and was like, it's just collecting the fee. I can do that. I'm like, okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So do that. He took my license and the paper back to the supervisor because I guess they have to sign something and like, okay, yeah, this person did pay it before whatever date. So that took longer than almost everything else of the transaction. Definitely not longer than standing in line. So I ended up getting everything done and I think I left at like 9:30. So it was a 3-hour fucking DMV trip.
Yeah. It's not fun to go to the DMV for 3 hours.
No.
Last time I was in the DMV in Vegas, the Henderson one, they had the thing with the telephone number, so they can call you and let you know when you're getting close.
Yeah, I really missed that.
So
that was so much better.
So much better. So I was there actually with somebody else, keeping them company while they had to do it. And since we put in our telephone number, we actually went and had lunch at Olive Garden.
Yeah.
And then got back in time for the call saying, all right, you're coming up close. Had plenty of time to eat.
Well, and Vegas they have the Henderson DMV, they have the Sahara DMV, the Flamingo DMV, and the Decatur DMV. I think they might have another one for Northtown now. So they have 5 DMVs. Reno has 1. For all of Reno, I think the start of Washoe Valley, Sparks, Spanish Springs, and the surrounding like jut outs like Pyramid Lake, that's still, they have to drive like an hour and a half to go to the DMV. So appointments right now are like August 23rd is the soonest appointment they have.
Don't they at least have satellite places that you can go to, like a small?
If you have a CDO.
I wasn't sure about that.
But so Fernley and Fallon have their own. Virginia City has their own. But what they've been doing recently and like since COVID, if you don't have that county on your driver's license, they will not help you because they don't want people flocking over there and making them do work.
Well, I in Virginia City, I actually think theirs is at the courthouse.
Yeah, and like the one in Hawthorne is super small, like tiny. Like I've seen.
So I remember there being in Nebraska. I remember in Omaha there was more than one.
Like maybe the size of a regular Wendy's dining room is the size of the Hawthorne DMV.
Wow.
Small.
Yeah.
But they don't want anybody going and clogging up their DMV systems just because.
Well, because if you tell if you go there from here and you're like,
yeah, I would definitely tell people,
and everybody else would go too.
Yeah, but you know what'll fix that? If Sparks, its own fucking city, since like 1915 or 1930 something, has its own fucking governmental office known as the DMV.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
They should have their fucking own. There's no reason that
there's no reason there should be only one DMV for both.
Yeah, no. And you could put it out like even on Pyramid by Costco, and that would be central to a massive amount of people. And that would fix so many issues.
Yeah.
Because they're going to start doing walk-in Wednesdays on July 12th. So they'll do Wednesdays and Saturdays, but that's still not going to fix anything because they still won't help people.
Somebody there's going, hey, they both start with W. Let's make it walk-in Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not going to do a Taco Tuesday at the DMV.
No.
They should.
They have snacks and stuff.
The one in Henderson had vending machines.
I think they have like $6 popcorn.
Oh, great.
Like, it's almost movie theater prices.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one in Henderson had vending machines, but I don't want to spend that money on a vending machine.
The one on Flamingo in Buffalo had the snack stand too. That's the popcorn smells amazing, but I'm not paying those prices just because I'm at the DMV. This isn't an airport, bro.
Yeah, they try to make it to where you can't leave, though.
Yeah.
At least, like I said, the one in Henderson, you can leave and come back.
I really miss that text-in system. That works
that was
well.
Really good.
But so many people started abusing it because people would start selling spots online. There was people that started up like the document services companies.
Yeah. And
they weren't sure when they would need it, so they would create like 10 appointments a day and then not show up to 8 of them. So that if I get these documents and I can like do an expedited service, then I can charge this much. And they just started abusing the hell out of the appointment system. So now we're at where we are. Where like the new DMV up here has like 50 windows. There's only ever like 20 open at a time.
Yeah.
And they help one person every like 10, 15 minutes. That's not a lot of people.
No.
At all. For Reno and Sparks.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of people. At all.
I'm glad last time I did DMV stuff, I was able to get everything done online.
Yeah. Most of the time I can, but new vehicles, stuff I'm selling, whatever, is not an online doable.
Yeah, when I first moved to Vegas, it was a pain in the ass. They had to make sure my car wasn't a stolen car, make sure it was what it was. They had to inspect it.
Well, yeah, if it's the first time a car has been titled in Nevada, you have to get a VIN inspection.
Yeah.
But like if the car was in Nevada, say it was like a 2010 Honda that sold originally in Nevada, it was a Nevada title once.
Yeah.
2011, you could take it to Cali title it, and then last year bring it back. You still don't have to do a VIN inspection because at one point it was a Nevada car. But
that's good.
It's good, but it's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Because if you're doing it for the reason of making sure nothing like it's not stolen and like the VINs match and do all this, you'd think it would still matter at a later point in time.
Yeah, you'd think so. Well, mine was from Nebraska. It had never been in Nevada.
Like that's the reason that I didn't get that truck. I don't know if I talked about that on here. I think it was the day after the podcast that I went to Cali.
You said you may go.
Yeah, so I did go to Cali to look at the truck. It was a 98 Dodge Ram 2500 dually with the 24 valve Cummins diesel.
Yeah.
And it had a couple issues they described as catastrophic, and I'm like, people always over exaggerate. So it was the issues I thought it was. The steering box is gone, so it's super sloppy steering and just terrible.
Yeah.
The 2 passenger dually wheels had like 4 or 5 inches of wire showing. Like there's no tire left.
Yeah.
And the front passenger side had 3 plugs in the sidewall. I'm like, yeah, it's either brand new tires or it's getting towed. But I'm like, that's not a big deal to me either.
Yeah.
It needs a new dash. That's a common Dodge issue. It needs a new passenger window because somebody broke into it. So I'm like, that I can deal with all this, especially for $1,500. It's a $10,000 or $12,000 truck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm fine with everything. And I'm like, let me write the VIN down and I'll look it up to make sure it's a clean title. So I write the VIN down from the door, the driver door. And then because it's a Dodge Dash, the whole dash is broken in pieces and whatever. So I'm fishing through. Finally find the one with the VIN, and it doesn't match. And I'm like, yeah, this is an issue.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue.
I'm going to pass. There's a third spot the VIN is. I didn't bring a wire brush. It's on the inside of the frame.
Yeah.
I didn't bring a wire brush. I didn't feel like laying on the ground and doing it's no. So I'm like that. Yeah, this is a deal breaker for me, 100%.
No, absolutely.
Thanks for your time. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry you drove out here. I'm like, it doesn't matter to me. So, because I got 45 to the gallon on the way out to Sac in my car,
nice.
Which is the most that I've ever gotten in it. So bought some lottery tickets, came back. And when I get back home, I look at the ad again. They changed it to now they're asking $1,300. And now they did say it was a clean title. Now it's a salvage title. And they still didn't say anything about the VINs. So I think they just threw that broken piece away.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, I don't know. Dodge the bullet. Nice drive to Cali.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, VINs matter. Maybe tell people if they don't match.
Yeah, that's an important thing to know. I wonder what the third one did have, though. Maybe it's a third one. Maybe it's a totally another one.
Well, so if it was... I think it would have been matching to the door.
Yeah, I was going to
say the frame probably would have matched the door because Dodge Dashes are notorious for cracking and breaking.
Yeah.
It's very possible and plausible that somebody swapped in another dash.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they forgot, didn't know, whatever, didn't think about swapping the VIN from the original to the replacement dash. Probably what happened.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
So... yeah, it was disappointing because, I mean, $1,500 for the truck. Either tires or get it towed. Tires would be way cheaper than getting a tow from Stockton to here. And then, like, $1,000 worth of parts, and I have a $12,000 truck.
Yeah.
So I'd have been into it for around $3,000. And then...
and make pretty good profit out of it.
Make like $7,000 or $8,000 easy. Just dumping it, not even having to wait. So...
yeah.
That'd have been cool, but I mean, I still have trucks that I'm working on, and I need to go find some seats in the junkyard tomorrow for the Passat and hopefully for the Ford, but I don't know if they'll have any that'll fit.
Hopefully.
Either one.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So.
I need to go to the UPS store tomorrow. I meant to go today.
I was supposed to go to the UPS store today to get a title paperwork signed for a Jetta that I've had for 3 years. I bought it from somebody who collected it as collateral from somebody that has recreational issues in Reno. So I finally got in touch with him again, and he's cleaning his life up. And he's like, I'll help. I'll fill out whatever title paperwork you need, like, just to get it over with. I'm like, okay, dope. So I have all the paperwork. I'm like, let's meet at the UPS store because the documents need notarized. He's like, okay, like Monday at 3. Perfect. So I texted him at noon and was like, hey, like, what time are we still aiming for 3? And he didn't answer. So like 2:15, I was like, hey, what UPS store do you want to meet at? And like 2:30, 2:45, he's like, I can't today. I have something to take care of. Well, this is something to take care of too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, when? And I still haven't heard back. So, yeah. What were you going to do at UPS, Mike?
I've told you about my previous Bose earbuds.
Yep.
The case stopped charging. So I had talked to them, and they were sending me a new pair, which they did. I returned them. But now the plug won't go into it. So this one won't charge either.
Quit breaking shit.
It broke on its own. They asked me, did you drop it or something? What happened? And I'm like, I had it in my pocket, and then I took it out of my pocket and went to charge it, and it wouldn't charge. I didn't drop it. So they're sending me new ones, but I have to send the old ones in. And the new ones are going to be, I can't remember what they call it, sandal white or something like that. They're not going to be the black ones. I'm going to have white ones.
Huh.
No.
Sandal white.
Sand white or something. I can't remember what they said on the phone.
Huh.
But I do have a tale from downtown for you.
Oh, let's hear that.
I was early in the morning. I mean, early, like the sun was barely coming up. I decided to go walk my dog. I prefer to walk her when it's cooler out, so she doesn't burn her pads on the.
Yeah.
So I'm walking, and I hear as I get out of the door, I hear somebody yelling, which is common in downtown Reno. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what that's about. I walk around the corner, and there he is, standing at the entrance of the parking lot, just standing there yelling shit. He's got a cooler in front of him. Like a cooler, like a cooler with a handle that you pull.
Right.
And he's yelling, and he's using adult language. I don't know what the fuck he's yelling about, but he's yelling something. And then he does something weird, even for downtown Reno. He takes a beach ball and kicks it into the middle of the street. Going, fuck this thing. And he kicks it in the middle of the street.
Did he have the beach ball the whole time, or was it in the cooler?
It was I didn't see, like, he picked it up from the other side of it, I think.
Oh, okay. I was gonna like he pulled a deflated beach ball out of the cooler, like took the time to blow it up, and then kick it.
It was blown up when I saw him
Okay,
kick it.
okay.
And it went out in the street. It was right next to the turn lane. So at least it wasn't, like, you could drive down the street and not hit it without having to adjust.
I mean, and it's a beach ball.
And it's a beach ball. Who would care? I mean, but then the funny thing was, this happened last week. And then this morning when I was walking my dog, beach ball was sitting in the apartment property on the other side of the fence, though. Like, somebody went out there and picked it up and brought it. But this guy eventually he got frustrated enough with what he was yelling about. He looked at me at one point and yelled something. I don't know what the fuck he said. There was a fence between us, and then he grabbed his.
You took offense?
Yes. He grabbed his cooler and just started dragging it down the street again.
Was there wheels on it,
Still
or he
yelling.
was just dragging a cooler?
I think there was wheels.
Oh, okay.
It didn't sound like there was wheels. It was making noise. I of course, when I got out of the apartment, I went the other way on the sidewalk. I didn't follow with him.
Oh, why not?
Could
have had more story.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, I hadn't gone that far, and either at him, I'd heard the dragging of the cooler, and then I turn around and I look, and because I didn't hear it anymore.
He just disappeared.
He just disappeared. Yeah, like, I think he cut or did something. I don't know.
I mean, maybe it was Morgan Freeman from Bruce Almighty. You could have gotten some stuff done.
No. Every time I'm driving home from work, I think about Bruce Almighty.
And when he splits the traffic.
Yes.
Yep.
I just want to be like, everybody.
Yeah. All these horses, nowhere to gallop. Meow.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I have often been like, slow lanes over there, trying to guide people.
Yeah. People have to look in their mirrors first to be guided.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed this. Most people don't look outside their car.
No.
Which is weird. Like, they don't check mirrors.
I check
side
mirrors.
The rear view mirror. They don't look out their windows. They are unaware of everything. And it's wild.
I check mirrors and other windows, but I don't really like, a lot of times somebody could be driving beside me. I'm not going to notice that that's them. I'm too busy paying attention to, generally the traffic, not the individuals in the cars.
No, I'm like, oh, I know this person. I'm trying to wave at them. Like, I think I pay attention to a lot of stuff.
I mean, but like, a lot of times I'm just, avoiding hitting the other people more than I am about who the other people are.
I mean, it's easy to not hit people.
Yeah. Yeah, but tell that to the people who had the cattle truck that flipped over.
You make it sound
Sunday
like a
morning.
chore. I saw a video of that. It was already upright in the video that I saw.
I just saw them cutting. I saw it on the news. They were cutting the thing out to be able to get the cattle out.
From what I saw, like, when it was already upright, it looked like horses. I don't know if it was cows or horses.
I saw
laying on the side of the road, and they didn't look alive.
I saw cows, and they actually had them fenced until they could get another truck there to put it in.
Oh.
They looked very alive.
It's definitely a different video than I saw.
Yeah, I didn't see any horses.
Huh.
That's sad. I could have rode those horses. It would have been the cows that could have eaten those.
So, everybody's talking about it. This fucking submersible that went to go check out the Titanic. It was not a submarine. Submarines have devices. Submarines can function on their own power, their own communication, their own like everything. Like it has more than just I can go this way. So you heard about the Titan submersible, right?
Yeah.
So I think like if it's actually correct and these 5 people died, it's sad for them and their families. They're
Yeah.
not that billionaires should be treated differently. I think it was a manufactured thing to fake their deaths because they've done, I think that same company has done this expedition like 10 or 15 something times already. And this time it's an issue. And this time they had the richest people ever that they have ever taken down there on it. And like the connections that some of the people have is a weird coincidence of connections. And also,
Let me ask you this: do they have any ties to the Clintons? Because if they all had ties to the Clintons, it might actually be gone.
well, so there's the other thing is one of the like blow up the news cycle so that everything else is hidden. So the Titan submersible has been in the news cycle for a solid week. No other news about anything has really surfaced. They released emails of the J.P. Chase Morgan and Jeffrey Epstein list.
Yeah.
Those emails those were released last week that nobody's talking about.
Well, because there's a submersible to talk about.
Yeah. And there's, I want to say like there was like 35 million something emails that were all deleted from something that might have to do with that. There's a bunch of other stuff that has to do with it that's,
I don't want to read that many emails.
no.
They must have gotten into my email account because I have a whole lot in mine.
So also go back to 2018. They inspected the Titan submersible and said that it did not meet industry standards and could result in negative outcomes from minor to catastrophic. And
So I would say this would be catastrophic.
yeah, the society said it had unanimous concern about the then planned expedition. It doesn't appear that it has the intention of following DNV GL class rules, whatever that means. It's a set of industry regulations widely acknowledged as key guidelines for vessel safety. And even though marketing materials said it met or exceeded those standards, it did not. So one of the things of like the 5 people that were in it, they had to sign like a massive amount of waivers that like on the first page said something about death is probable like 3 or 4 times. So
wow.
like there's not even a chance at a lawsuit, a wrongful death suit or anything because they basically signed this paperwork saying I'm going to die.
I'm probably going to die.
Yeah. Let me on this
vehicle. Let me on, yeah.
Let me in this
tomato to go see the Titanic.
Yeah.
They've actually got this documentary where they show pretty detailed things of this ship underwater. You can see all of it.
Yeah.
I actually saw a thing where they had some of the parts that they actually pulled up. They had them on display and they had the video playing and you could see like
that's another thing that's weird about this is like I know we have all this footage. We have like it's not a brand new. The Titan submersible is not brand new. They've been working on it and have had voyages, whatever you want to call it, before. However, 2-3 days after it went missing, they have a documentary already about the missing Titan submersible on Netflix.
Wow.
Already there. That's a weird timing.
Yeah, you would think it'd take a little time to edit and get it together to be able to put out.
Yeah, and to submit to Netflix and for them to approve it and for them to like
Yes.
I don't think it's an overnight process.
I don't think so either.
Even if it's Netflix doing it.
Unless Netflix is like, we need to get this out. It's happened now.
I mean, possibly, but still, that's not a that quick thing. Like, there's a lot around this that's super suspicious. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next, like, 6 months, a year, there's a lot of stuff that comes out. Basically, like, 2 of the rich guys that were in there have, like, 50, 100-something lawsuits coming up against them. They knew all this stuff was in the pipeline, that was going to start scrutinizing them or their businesses or this or that. And now that they're no longer and their family got everything, that it'll be just washed away.
Yeah.
Because if you're a multi-billionaire, what else is there to do? Like if stuff starts getting like super weird, super heavy, super this, I'd fake my own death.
Oh, yeah.
Just start over in some random country and
just have some, you know, some.
You start some small company and get on the payroll of your company back home. It might be one of the worst ways to do it, unless you have a nest egg.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Away.
You set money aside in a numbered account in Switzerland, and then when you're off, you can get that money back. Because they can't trace it and be like, okay, this was this guy's dead money because it's a hidden account.
Yeah, so like there's different ways of.
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I was a billionaire
and just be retired. You know,
a massive amount of issues coming down the pipeline.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I don't know that it would be a super easy decision. Like, can't talk to your family anymore, can't talk to anybody anymore. Like, it'd be a really difficult thing.
Oh, no, I could do it. I'll do it anyway.
But, yeah, we're recording.
I'll just, I'll do it anyway. I don't have any things coming down the pipeline, but you know,
yeah.
I guess I can't do with going to the Titanic though, since.
Yeah, that's already been done.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's.
I'm going to Mars.
So
I mean,
The Simpsons already did it. Did you see that video when you already know the episode I'm talking about probably? Homer and some random guy are in the mini yellow submarines with the claws, and they're going.
They're treasure hunting.
Yeah, they're treasure hunting, and they're like, the Simpsons predicted it. I'm like, that's one. They're in two separate submarines that are one person each, going after a pirate ship. I'm like, this is one of those that's like they did something similar. Like
Simpsons did it, except the Simpsons character they didn't die.
Yeah, no, like it had low oxygen. It was like low oxygen, this, that, and no oxygen. And like and then they couldn't contact him anymore. Like there was a couple similarities, but that falls into when you have 1,000 fucking episodes, you're gonna have something that's just about the same as almost everything that happens.
Yeah, I've said that, but
period.
Yeah, and that one, the person he went with on the treasure hunt may have been his actual real dad instead of Grandpa Simpson. So they predicted that too. They predicted that somebody in the world, their parent is not really their parent. Way to go! They figured it out. That's a good prediction.
Yeah, so like normally I'm on board with like, yeah, it's really weird that the Simpsons like almost exactly whatever.
Well, when they got the mathematical formula just slightly off with a Higgs boson.
Yeah, like that's different too. Like that's insane that it was that close.
Yeah.
But this, I'm like, if it was the Titanic that they were going after and not just a pirate ship, that they actually, I think they said the name of it in the scene.
Yeah.
That's not the Titanic. It had sails. It had masts.
Yeah.
It was old.
And they were looking for
like old.
Sunken treasure.
Yeah. And they found it.
Yeah.
And they came back up.
Yeah. And also they didn't know where it was. Like there was no guarantee where it was at. Everybody, they know where the Titanic is.
Yeah.
It's not moving.
Well, and so that's the weird part to me too. So a submersible is supposed to stay in constant contact, quote unquote, with the surface ship. So they have a surface ship that has like sonar and like all the technology is built into it, and they're telling this submersible which direction to go because they don't know. They don't know where whatever is. They have to be told, like, adjust your course this far in order to do it. And it's supposed to stay tethered to the surface ship so that if anything happens, guess where you're going to find them? On the end of this fucking rope.
Yeah.
Chain, whatever they use. It's not going to be a rope. Probably. They're tethered so that you know where they are.
You would hope.
Also, on Sunday when they first went missing, the Navy, and they have a recording of this, the Navy heard underwater implosion sounds from the area that they knew that submersible was in.
Yeah.
They knew Sunday that it imploded, but they still and I mean, I can understand of like dedicating resources to trying to find just to be sure,
Yeah.
sure. But there's been countless other times that not billionaires have had issues in the water.
Yeah.
And the Coast Guard, the Navy, everybody and their mom doesn't just like start screaming and like, let's search for him and like full search party shit. So, like, that's all of it's weird to me. That like they knew it imploded. They knew something imploded from almost exactly where they were.
Yeah.
And they still spent 3 days looking for him.
It was a puffer fish. That's what imploded. And they're like, no,
and
that's just a fish. We'll find the submersible.
they're like, yeah, puffer fish just didn't know when to stop breathing in.
He was puffed and then he just.
But yeah, that's, I don't know. That's wild. Something that like it'd be cool to go down and see the Titanic.
Yeah.
And something that is third party, maybe, and fourth and fifth party verified for safety.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
And not something that can't function under its own power.
I mean, it's just if I'm going to go underwater to go take a look at something, I could definitely look at a video of. Maybe I'm going to be like, it's better be very safe if I can just buy the DVD.
Yeah. Well, and that also goes to the whole, like, we know more about space than we know about our own oceans.
Yeah.
That's crazy as shit to me too. Because like in space there's a vacuum. They're like, okay, well, just seal your suit, you'll be fine. As long as you have an oxygen pack, just seal your suit. You're fine. You go more than 3/4 of a mile underwater, and there's so much pressure. There's probably a half mile. There's so much pressure that it'll. I don't think I saved that one, but I saw a chart where it goes like this far down. If you had a tank that was at 100 psi of air,
yeah,
and it got punctured, water rushes in from how much the pressure is. Air doesn't come out. Water rushes in instantly. Like there's no air bubbles at the beginning. Like finally, probably at the end, after the water fills the tank, will there be anything of how much pressure the water builds?
Wow, yeah, it's crazy amount of pressure.
So, like, I'd be dope, but I don't think we're near the technology, commercially at least, to do any of that.
Yeah, when you as you go down, you just whatever you're in just starts crushing and crushing, and then. Boop.
The even weirder part is that there's animals that fucking live down there.
Yeah.
Like the anglerfish. There's
ones down there we don't even know.
Yeah, there's a bunch I don't know the names of. The anglerfish is dope because he has a little light bulb on its head.
Yeah, I know. I like that one.
But yeah, like
then there's the megalodon.
There's creatures that live down there, and we can't figure out how to get a metal, like the Titan, I guess, had 5 or 6 inch carbon fiber walls. So like I was thinking when I heard it was
should have been 7 or 8.
When I heard it was carbon fiber, I was like, I don't know about that, but like 5 or 6 inches of carbon fiber, yeah, that could definitely hold a lot of pressure.
See, 7 or 8, they might have been all right.
Well, and I feel like it would also need like structure support beams.
Yeah, I'm sure I don't know what those were made of, but I'm sure they had that.
No,
I would hope so.
No, they didn't. They showed a video of them like getting in and like showing it off, because it was probably the size of this half of the room, if not smaller. Of like they can't stand up in there, like they're seated, and maybe like 2 inches above being seated. And then they have like one toilet that had a curtain, and then you just like open the toilet, ziplock the bag so that it doesn't smell, and that's the whole experience.
Damn.
I don't even think there was enough room to spin around on an office chair if you had an office chair in there.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, there's some billionaires out there who are working on going to space. Maybe they need to pool some resources and work on looking at our ocean.
As much as I think space is dope, and like I think there are aliens, because there's no way that we're the only living beings capable of intelligent thought in the whole in the whole multiverse. No way.
Wouldn't you think Richard Branson, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, don't you think they could pool some money together and maybe get in the ocean?
Well,
Maybe take a look, put some money into some technology.
That's one of the things that I'm thinking about too. Is like, you'd think that.
Wait, you're gonna put the money?
No, but you'd think there would be somebody, a group of somebodies, that would find it that interesting. That like, I can develop something.
We can race to space, but we're not going to race to that.
Yeah, so like maybe you have 2-foot, like titanium steel alloy walls that can support whatever, so that you can have like a submarine, not a submersible, and go down to figure out whatever on the ocean floor. Because we don't even have most of the ocean floor mapped.
No, not at all. We don't even have the Earth mapped, to be honest. After you get to a certain depth when drilling into the Earth, we really don't know much about what's inside our own planet.
Lizard people.
Yeah. Lizard people, Morlocks, the usual.
Yeah.
Mole people.
Yeah, I think we should definitely not fully shift, but I think like 30-40% of resources that are going to space, if not flipped, like 60% of the resources that are being used to go to space.
Yeah, but that's our future.
How about you look under the couch, bro?
There might be something scary under that couch.
That's fine. At least
But
we'll
there's
know
also
it's there.
something scary out there in space, too.
Yeah, it's like was it Neil deGrasse Tyson? It was like there either are aliens or aren't aliens, and both are equally terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, most things are that way.
I like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's got a good show.
Which one?
Well, he's got a couple shows, to be honest.
I think I've seen a couple clips of one of them, but
yeah. Well, one of them was about space. Another one's just generally about science. I saw him on a podcast recently.
I see a lot of podcast clips with him.
Yeah. Of course, not on our podcast.
Oh, that's after this one because Russell's here. So after this one, he's busy, or else we'd have him on.
Yeah.
Because it'd be a fucking great time. Girlfriend is the one that does the video editing and stuff.
Yeah.
And since I keep forgetting to ever talk about it, remind me when we get down there, and I'll talk to Russell about it.
If I remember.
It's only another like 20 minutes to remember. So.
I don't know. But like if we could actually get somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson on here, I don't know that I'd have a lot to say. We
would have to have Jeff here. Scott.
Yeah.
We'd have to have Scott here. There's a story behind that. I'll tell that story when he's on here. Scott would have to be here at the same time as Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I'd be in awe. I'm a big fan.
Just to watch I can't even put words to how fucking great that would be. The look on Neil deGrasse Tyson's face with Scott talking.
Yeah.
Because like some of the stuff is smart and some of the stuff is like, so Scott's basically Wish.com Theo Von. If I haven't said that before, I'm pretty sure I did when Nathan was on. It can't be a real person. Like the things that form sentences, those words,
Neil deGrasse Tyson might walk out.
Shouldn't be put together in those ways and almost make sense, but they do.
Yeah.
It's like, what? And then I find out Scott thinks my laugh is fucking hilarious, which a lot of people told me that, and it's a very contagious laugh. He would come to break purposefully to see if I was on break, to tell me something ridiculous just to hear me laugh.
Yeah, I could see him doing that.
He would come up with some of the wildest shit just to see if I would laugh at it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking great. So I'll see if Scott, I can't reach out to Neil deGrasse Tyson that I would know he would answer. I can shoot him a message.
Yeah.
But I'll see if Scott wants to come on in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Late July sometime.
If he can make it.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't have to take somebody to a doctor's appointment.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant get there. Back to the beginning. I thought you meant stand in line at 9:45.
Yeah, no.
Which I did originally say like 4 or 5 p.m. 2 weeks in advance or something, and then I told Nathan, like, because I figured Nathan was gonna drive him, because they're both coming over. They live at the same fucking house. They're coming to the same house.
Drive at the same time.
Just drive. And I told Nathan, I'm like, this way, because I know Scott's not gonna be on time.
Yeah.
I'm like, drive him here, get here at 3, so that we can start recording at 4. I can mess with microphone settings, mess with this, mess with that, make sure everything's good, and even record early or whatever. And then, so Nathan got here at 3, or like 3:15.
Yeah.
And Scott texted me at like 4:15, 4:30. Like, we were already recording. And he's like, did you guys start yet? Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
He was like, damn it. Yeah, we'll plan something out better with him, and then see how it goes. That episode should be great.
Did you feel the earthquake yesterday?
Yep, I thought I was losing my mind because I didn't know what it was. So I was playing Fortnite with my nephew.
Listen, one does not exclude the other. You could have had both. You could have been losing your mind and felt the earthquake.
So I was here by myself. I'm playing Fortnite with my nephew, and I'm in my computer chair downstairs, and Josh was supposed to be coming over after work. Josh gets off at like 7.
Yeah.
So it's like 6:15-ish, and it feels like somebody comes up behind my chair and like taps my chair a couple times of like a weird wobble. So I'm like, look to my left, like look to my right, like behind the chair. I'm like, look under the chair, pull my headset off, like look around. I'm like, what the fuck was, I gotta be imagining stuff. Like, that was weird. I don't know. And then like 20 minutes later, Garrett texted me and he's like, hey, did you feel that earthquake? I'm like, you know what? That makes so much sense. I was like, yes, I did. And thank you for telling me there was an earthquake.
See, when I felt an earthquake, I didn't feel it yesterday, but when I was in Vegas, I was laying down on a couch watching TV, and I felt it was a weird feeling, like the couch was moving in some way or something was going on the couch. And I thought, oh, maybe that was my dog. And I looked over, and both of my dogs were laying down on the couch with me. So I'm like, no, that's not the problem. And then I got up and I went on Facebook, and I saw so many people posting about the earthquake.
Well, I seen one at work, and the structural support beams, I don't know if they're I-beams or not, the super fucking massive pillars that go up and down in the building.
Yeah.
There was an earthquake, I want to say it was like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
I heard about the light shaking.
Oh, like it was wiggling. Like, you know how the trees wiggle in like the old Mickey cartoons?
Yeah.
Like when the trees are all dancing? The structural support beams were all like doing a wiggle.
They were doing the wave.
Yeah, they were all doing a wiggle. Like the whole building was shaking.
And somehow I didn't feel it.
The structural support beams were all wiggling. I'm like, this is fucking wild.
Yeah, I totally missed it. I was there, but I totally missed that. I don't know where I was when it happened, but I remember somebody asked me about it later, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, like it was, I don't know if I felt it, because like I was walking when I started seeing it wiggle. I don't know if that set my equilibrium weird.
Yeah. Or
like I felt a little rumble, so like you like stutter step, like almost stumble kind of thing. Or it was a combination of the two. But like it was strange. Really strange to see steel that's supposed to hold a building up doing a little wiggle.
Well, I think it's actually supposed to wiggle instead of break.
Yeah, no, and that's like, that makes a lot of sense, but you don't see it often.
No,
if ever.
But somebody told me about the lights, like moving.
Oh yeah, the lights were swinging a lot.
Yeah,
but that was less impressive to me than fucking steel wiggle.
I didn't see. This is the first time I've heard about the steel wiggle. That I would have liked to have seen.
Yeah.
Let me see you wiggle.
You can take some mushrooms and it'll wiggle without an earthquake.
Wouldn't be the same.
Oh, you don't know that.
Well, I'm saying it wouldn't be an earthquake. So the one yesterday was a 3.4. I guess it was at.
It was in Spanish Springs.
It was right outside of Spanish Springs.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't remember exactly what time they said, but yeah, people were shaking.
Yep.
Welcome to my world.
You think that's why you didn't feel it?
I might have fallen asleep. I might have taken a nap.
Oh.
I mean, with the music around me, earthquake isn't going to wake me up.
Yeah.
Because the last 3 days, there was a lot of music played right outside.
Like normal.
Friday, it was before I had to go to work. Sunday, they have what they call they have jazz at the pool. So I'm there listening to jazz. I'm like, I don't fucking like
They
jazz.
put like tubas and all the
Saxophones and shit.
all the saxophones in the pool and then play it underwater.
Yeah. That would have been better. The 4 or 5 people I heard applauding every once in a while really seemed to like it.
Oh.
Yeah, because jazz is so popular.
Yeah, 4 or 5 people make sense.
Yeah. At one point, I was talking to somebody. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner. I was like, I might just go to the store just to get away from the jazz.
Like, I think recently somebody at work was playing like, it was either easy listening or like some kind of jazz. I'm like, I actually like this. Like, there's some that I've heard that's like, no.
I was going to say maybe it was Ray, but
Oh no,
no,
yeah,
then you wouldn't. No. It wouldn't have been something you like.
No,
I've heard his.
Yeah, his music isn't good.
No.
And you know what? You know what's on the album of Led Zeppelin? Like, yeah, the Hindenburg. Oh, how'd you know that? Because it's a fucking famous album.
Yeah.
That has the Hindenburg on it.
That's the first Led Zeppelin. Yeah.
Oh well, do you know what happened with that blimp? Like one, it wasn't.
Well, that picture on the album cover, yeah, that shows you.
Like
and it's a dirigible.
Yeah, it's a dirigible,
yeah.
And it blew the fuck up.
Yeah, it was filled with
helium.
No, hydrogen.
And helium.
But mostly hydrogen.
Yeah.
That's why it was so flammable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the video.
It's even more flammable when they're mixed.
I've seen that video pretty much my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand. There's a lot of wild people out there. Yeah. I've had something in my notes of like do you ever like call people random names or like, hey, Mr. Guy, how you doing, man? As if you don't know their name, just because.
I usually just say, hey, how you doing? If I don't know their name.
So sometimes I'll put like name attachments just because. So the church that I went to growing up in Georgia, we would have, I want to say it was at like one of the Fish Fridays. And there was this new guy that I hadn't seen before. Like I'd seen him once, but I didn't know who it was. And I was like 13, 14. And I go up to him, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, I was going to call him Guy. And I'm like, let's call him Mr. Man, just because.
Yeah.
Like, how you doing, Mr. Man? He like looks around. How do you know my name? What? He's like, my last name is Man. I'm like, oh. Like, honestly, it was a 50-50 if I was going to say Guy or Man, and I went with Mr. Man. He goes, that's impressive.
That's funny.
That's my favorite thing that ever happened there, though.
When you say things, when you said, do you ever have call somebody a name? There's some names I have in my head for people.
Well, but that's not what I mean. So my favorite thing to ever happen there, I didn't mean to do it, but as soon as it happened, I was so fucking proud of it. So the youth director, so it's a Southern Baptist church.
Right.
The youth director, she's a female, can't be a pastor if you're a woman, according to the Southern Baptists.
All right.
Her husband was fairly loopy, like borderline dementia, like because he was old and definitely hard to converse with. It's a great, nice way to put it. But he loved to interact with people and he loved to talk to people, but it was just a difficult thing to do.
Okay.
So church lets out one time, then I run over to the playground and play with my friends. And I run down this hill, and he was trying to follow me a little bit to like talk to me about something. I'm like, I'm just ignoring him. So I hear him calling my name several times. I get to the bottom of the hill and like he called my name again, and I just turn around with the Peter Pan stance. What do you want, old man? Like directly out of fucking Hook. Like towards the end of the movie when Hook's at the top of the plank and Robin Williams is at the bottom. I'm like, as soon as I turned around and said it, like as I was saying it, I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. I didn't even wait for a response. I just ran off. It was like absolute best moment.
Nice.
Perfect.
I had a different type of thing that I always thought was cool. We were on a trip together, a family trip. We were driving across Nebraska, and we were on our way to Colorado. And we're in Grand Island, Nebraska. We're in this parking lot, and the person driving is looking, which the best way to go from there. And one of the people in the car says, "Where are we at?" And my response is, "I don't know, Jehovah's Witness." Turns out, I look over.
What?
Yeah, it's just a random thing I said. Turns out I look over, there's a sign there. And we were in a Jehovah's Witness parking lot.
You found the watchtower, huh?
And she's like, "You saw the sign?" I was like, "No, I really didn't. I didn't see it. I had no fucking idea where we were at." To this day, I admit, I tell you, I did not know where we were at. I had no clue. I didn't even know there was that part of Grand Island. I'd been to Grand Island before.
I've never heard of Grand Island before.
It's grand, but it's not really an island.
I believe you.
It's not really an island.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe it's not an island. Nebraska's kind of flat.
Yeah.
And
doesn't have a lot of ocean.
No. Or lake.
No.
Does Nebraska have lakes?
Yeah, there's lakes.
Like 2?
Well,
that are house-sized? Called ponds?
No, they have lakes. Like the one that we used to go to was called Lake McConaughey. That's it. That's near Ogallala.
I heard that one's all right. It's a Matthew McConaughey joke.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah. It's a good sized lake, but no, there's lakes in Nebraska.
Nebraska lakes. Yep. McConaughey is the biggest. It's 56 square miles. Harlan County Lake is 21 square miles. And the other ones don't have sizes. Lewis and Clark.
But there's more than 3.
Well, I mean, it depends on your definition of lake. Like this one's 0.6 square miles. That's a big pond. Lewis and Clark Lake is 48 square miles. So yeah, there's 3 large ones. The rest of them don't even have. If it doesn't say the size.
Don't you mean Lois and Clark?
I only have 2 episodes left of Smallville.
All right.
It's been it's
been a journey.
It went downhill. Like I was so excited to watch it, and I was binging everything, and now it's just like, eh.
No, you're just trying to get through it.
It's spoiler alert. He still can't even fucking fly.
Yeah,
It's season 10. He can't fly. Everybody else
that's one of the knocks I've heard on it.
I
think even Big Bang Theory made a joke about that.
Everybody else that gets his powers can fly. Like Supergirl, he gave his blood to Zod to save him. He could fly instantly. All the Kandorians could fly instantly. When he transfers power to somebody else because of whatever circumstances, they can fly.
Maybe he's afraid of heights, and
he uses
a mental block.
Red kryptonite. Oh, it's a mental block. They said that in several places. When he uses red kryptonite, he can fly. So, like, there's all these other, and he's flown, I think, like 2 or 3 times. Like his cousin Supergirl taught him how to fly, and he flew for 150 yards and then fell through the barn. I'm like, how can you have 10 seasons of a Superman growth story
and not fly? Yeah.
He better fly in this last 2 episodes or I'm going to be fucking mad.
It's a slow build.
I'm going to be mad.
See, now you're talking about a show where at the beginning you're like, yeah, I really like this. I'm binge watching it. And
Yeah.
See, that's why Cobra Kai, that's where I was. At the beginning, I'm like, fuck yeah, this is
I was
great.
Super excited about that too until
first I thought it was gonna be cheesy, and I watched it and I was like, wow, this is a lot better than I expected. And then when the seasons go in, I'm like, I haven't even finished it because I
stopped.
Some of the shit just got so annoying. They take a trip to Mexico. I talked about this before to find the one's dad. I'm like, no, that's not Cobra Kai story. That's fucking stupid. Get back to the U.S. and further the story.
I think it was like 5 or 6 episodes into season 1, I started declining interest. And then 2 episodes into season 2, I'm like, yeah, this is dumb, bro. I'm good.
Oh, it got so bad. It was so good to start.
Yeah.
And I'm just disappointed.
So I might watch Mandalorian season 3 this week because I'll finish Smallville probably tonight.
Yeah. But I'm like on the last season of Cobra Kai and I can't get myself to finish it.
Yeah. I used to have an issue of like I can't stop watching something. Like if I start it, I have to finish it.
Yeah.
And recently, like I think I talked about it a little bit
I used to be
while
able.
ago
I used to have to finish everything.
I don't have an issue not finishing shit now. Like I stopped watching SWAT because of their virtue signaling woke bullshit. I stopped watching a couple different shows just because it got stupid and it doesn't hold my interest anymore. And there's no reason that I should watch it just because I've always watched it. Like I don't give a fuck.
There's a show coming back on FX. There was a show called Justified. He had the
I've heard
U.S.
of it.
Marshal in it. Timothy Olyphant.
He's fucking great.
He is. But he's in it again. And they're bringing it back with him. It's going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait.
I might give it a shot.
Yeah, he's good.
But I've still been enjoying, like, I'm not vegging out all the time. Like, I still can't play hours and hours of video games. I can't just sit there forever and just watch TV no more. Like, I'm working on cars again, working on bikes, working on trucks, working on everything. Just working on selling stuff. I don't want all my collectibles no more.
I've actually been enjoying playing a bit of video games again lately. But it's because it's Zelda.
Yeah.
And there's so much to do in it. I mean, I did something cool on it recently. I had to go, you do these trials. Sometimes it's a puzzle, sometimes it's, you have to fight things, but you don't get to have your weapons with you. You have to use just what's in the thing. And these things you're fighting are difficult. But I found these little things in there that all I had to do was activate them, and they went and did the fighting for me.
Nice.
And then I put something on the back of it, and it was shooting weapons. It made it a lot faster. It was like, I didn't actually have to do any of the fighting myself, which is good because when I tried, I got hit and almost killed on one hit. So it was good that I had something else to go in there with me, for me.
Like, I kind of want to find more video games that I can enjoy, but at the same time, I don't want to get back into, like, all I do is play video games on my time off. So I don't even know if I care to find video games that I like anymore.
I like this one a lot, obviously. Oh, I got a good picture of the lightning now. I told you
saw
about
that, yeah.
Yeah, I figured out a good way to do it. What I did is because if you're wearing metal,
record the screen.
Well, no, that it's not as easy as like on PlayStation. I could just have it record when it gets it, play it back, and do a screenshot of the.
Yeah.
But no, it just does a screen capture. It doesn't record video. On Switch.
I'm pretty sure there's a way you can record it.
I'm sure there is, but I'm saying the Switch itself doesn't.
Okay.
See, on PlayStation, you can just hit a button and it'll record.
Yeah, Xbox too.
And you can record the previous things happening.
Yeah.
On this, I had to take the picture when it happened. It's not like I could just go back and get that picture.
Well, time then.
So what I did was I threw a metal sword on the ground and stood back and watched when it started to spark and show that lightning was about to hit.
Just started slamming the capture button.
Then I just hit the capture button. I got it.
Oh.
I thought it turned out pretty good. That was the best way. Another thing, I was fighting something that was much tougher than me on there that almost killed me with one hit again. So what I did was I ran around. I'm like, that thing's made out of metal. There's a thunderstorm. It worked. It got hit. It died. I let the lightning do the work for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's a nice hack for Zelda if you're playing. I don't know if we have anything else coming up.
Nothing.
Probably gonna do a double episode.
At some point, we'll probably do a live episode again, but we'll let people know well in advance.
Yeah.
And promote it, each episode up into it.
I think we'll just record that one Sunday when I get back, so we don't have to do one tomorrow.
All right.
We'll figure it out. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Some Offense Intended. Twitter, Some Offense Pod. I'm going to talk to Russell about the video stuff.
If you remember.
Well, I'm remembering right now. I'm about to hit stop recording.
It's a long walk downstairs.
YouTube.com/@ Some Offense Intended. That's the @ symbol, not AT. Fucking stupid YouTube. All right. Goodbye.